An apparent price war between NNPC and Dangote, and slashing of the price of petrol to 850 naira per litre. That is the latest coming from a state-owned oil company. And tonight we'll be speaking with Mr. Olajide Adediran, the Lagos governorship PDP candidate in 2023, who's announced his exit from the party. The reasons and why tonight. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimbaloye here in Abuja. Tonight our attention is on some major stories coming from Lagos, and on the other hand, this is one issue that affects all the parts of Nigeria. Tonight, one of the frontline candidates in Lagos State in the governorship election of 2023 announced his exit from his party, and there are a lot of issues that he raised. What are these issues? He's going to be telling us tonight. He gave a good fight. He was part of the Bola Tinubu political family before he exited the party, went to the PDP, got the ticket of the party, gave a good contest in that election. But now, there are a lot of issues, according to him, that is wrong with the People's Democratic Party, and he's announced his exit. Tonight, he's going to be talking to us. Jandor is his name. But before we get to do that, I will also be dissecting for you tonight the price war. Who wins in the price war? This happens when there is competition over a commodity and the prices are changing because the suppliers or the manufacturers who are involved are playing the war of pricing. So tonight, NNPC's decision to slash prices, you know what happened when Dangote said he's going to absorb several billions of naira, direct effect on the marketers, and what this means. And over the last few months, Dangote has been slashing prices and, reducing prices of commodity. What does this mean for you, the average buyer of these commodities? But before we get into all of this conversation tonight, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Mr. Samsudeen Ogunjimi as the new Accountant General of the Federation after a rigorous election process. In a statement by Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, Bayo Ananuga, he says his appointment, approved on Tuesday, takes effect from 7th March 2025, the same day the incumbent Oluwatoyin Mendehin will retire. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Jumoke Oduwole, says Nigeria has recorded $50.8 billion investment as at November 2024. She made the disclosure during a ministerial briefing in Abuja. The minister also announced that the ministry has positioned Nigeria as a key player in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
The key outcomes of this engagement was the announcement of the establishment of the Industrial Revolution Work Group, an elite task force focused on re-engineering the Nigerian Industrial Revolution Plan for a modern, innovation-driven economy.
Following the Supreme Court annulment of the Rivers State local government election held in October 2024, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission seems already set to conduct fresh council polls. The state election umpire on Tuesday released a statement signed by its chairman and chief electoral commissioner, Honorable Justice Adolphus Enebili, retired, announcing a stakeholders meeting for Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. The statement contained that the main agenda of the stakeholders meeting is to unveil the timetable and guidelines for the 2025 local government elections in the state. In Yobe State, the Forum of All Progressives Congress has passed a vote of confidence on Governor Mai Mala Buni for embarking on the construction of several capital projects across the state. The forum, at its own town hall meeting, applauded the governor for signing a 22 billion naira contract for the reconstruction of the first flyover and underpass in Damaturu, the state capital. The acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Umar Damagum, is calling on security agencies in the country to remain neutral in resolving the political crisis in Osun State. Mr. Damagum made this call while speaking to journalists in Adamawa on the recent political developments in Osun State.
I also want to use this opportunity to also call on the security agencies to be devoid of partisanship. It's very, very important, because they are being paid with an ordinary man's tax.
The Benjamin Omale-led Caretaker State Executive Committee of the All Progressives Congress in Benue State has begun the e-registration and revalidation of members' register of the party. Addressing the party's leaders from the 23 local government areas of the state, Mr. Omale commended the National Working Committee and President Bola Tinubu for reaffirming the leadership of the state's chapter of the party under Governor Hyacinth Aya. The leadership tussle rocking the Action Alliance party has been put to rest as the Supreme Court affirmed Mr. Kenneth Udeze as the authentic national chairman of the party. The apex court dismissed the suits challenging Udeze-led National Working Committee. Justice Lawal Garba, who presided over the appeal, dismissed it for want of diligent prosecution. The senator representing Kwara Central, Senator Salihu Mustafa, who is also the chairman of the Senate Committee on Agriculture, says he is serious with the agenda of ensuring that some of his constituents are empowered to engage in agricultural activities that are capable of lifting them out of poverty. The lawmaker empowered 3,500 in his constituency in the agricultural, entrepreneur, and human development empowerment. The Deputy Senate President, who represented the President of the Senate as the chairman of the occasion, was full of appreciation to the senator for complementing the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu. The empowerment, he noted, will improve the economic well-being of the people in the long run.
These are the carefully chosen beneficiaries who have gone through training. We are not just doing political rally or jamboree. These are actual beneficiaries who, in one form or the other, is it the cassava processing plant? We have cassava processing plants here for some of them.
A quick update for you. A report that seems to be alarming at the airports. Now, today the federal government is considering the option of shutting down the private wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, Abuja, over alleged high rates of drug trafficking and other illegalities. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, gave this hint when he received the report of the 7-member ministerial task force investigating illegal private charter operations and other related matters in Nigeria. The minister claims that those behind the illegalities of private charter in the country are high-profile personalities who he tagged as untouchables. According to the report of the committee, over 120 billion naira revenue loss was recorded due to the illegalities over a period of 10 years. Take a listen to Minister Festus Keyamo.
One pressing issue and related matters too that has been besetting the aviation industry, and that is the issue of illegal charter operations, illegal operations by private jets, private aircrafts in the country, especially those who obtain licenses under the PNCF and then use the aircrafts to do other illegal transactions. This practice has been on for many years before I became minister, but I thought there was a need to confront it headlong, because I came to office and everybody told me that it was an intractable problem. That was a problem I could not tackle at all, that I should just let it go. They said I should let it go because principally it was difficult to regulate it, that is one. But secondly, and most importantly, that those involved are the untouchables in society. But my background, both from civil society and as a prosecutor of the EFCC, for more than a decade before I became minister, I was a prosecutor. My duty is to touch the untouchable.
So tonight, let's first touch on the Lagos politics, which has been interesting over. It's almost every day, one update and one controversy or the other. Tonight, it's about the People's Democratic Party and the governorship candidate of the PDP in the 2023 governorship election. Mr. Baba Olajide Adediran is popularly known as Jandor. Yesterday, quit the People's Democratic Party, and he gave a lot of reasons, including betrayal, issues of indiscipline, anti-party activities, and a lot of issues that he raised at that press conference. He's live for us here, and let's hear from the horse's mouth. I'm being joined by Jandor Olajide Adedron. Thank you so much indeed, Mr. Jandor, for joining us on the program. So you left the PDP?
Absolutely.
It's less than 2 years since you joined the party.
It's not about how far.
So you were tired?
Well, I think that reactions that I've been getting has been that of awareness, right? And more of that was long overdue. Leaving, the party is actually long overdue. And nobody has said, oh, you shouldn't have left. Because the state of PDP, especially in Lagos State, of course, it's visible to the blind. Yes, we got into the party in 2022. We brought so much energy into the party. Of course, I'm not just saying it. It's obvious it's there. And we ran a good race. We had the PDP members at the grassroots who are very loyal to the party. But the problem has always been leadership, and we saw it firsthand. Of course, you know it's not something that is hidden. You know, when you say BOT, BOT is a conscience of any organization, right? And a lifetime BOT of a party had to come out and say, don't vote for my party, both at the state level and at the national level.
Okay, in Lagos.
That's fine. In Lagos.
A member of the BOT.
Don't do like you don't know.
No. I mean, there are a lot.
It's someone that's very vocal.
So I like to clarify this, and this is also for a lot of our viewers who are
that wasn't even
a lot of the times, right? When I ask questions, it's not about me. I'm asking questions for the sake of the viewers.
Absolutely.
So when you say that a member of your party in Lagos, who is this person?
See. This is Jandor, right? I had a press conference yesterday. I mentioned names.
Are you able to mention those names?
Of course. You see, if I mention the name...
a member of your party campaigned against you.
If I mention the name, not against me, against the party. I was just a flag bearer of the party. The party was on the ballot. The logo of PDP was the one on the ballot. Not even my name, not even my face. The party, the logo was on the ballot. So whatever that person did wasn't against
me.
Who
is this person?
And he did against the party. Chief Olabodejo, you know it. It's not like we're not just coming here to...
I mean, are you angry with Chief Bodejo because he never wanted you to be the candidate in the first place?
No. You see,
you remember the controversy about
when you go into primary, right, you have several aspirants. And everybody, just like with the talker, gets their own person now, right? So that's not an issue. So at the process of fighting for tickets, you have several people saying, I'm standing with this, I'm standing with that, within the party. But the moment one person clinches the ticket, then everybody must rally around that person as the flag bearer of the party. So I really do not have any issues whatsoever, whether or not somebody supported me during the primary or not. Oh, no, that's on the table. And secondly, I wasn't even surprised. Because I won't be the first governorship candidate that will be victim of such in PDP, especially with the same person. So this conversation, I know you brought me here not to mourn the past or not to talk about this thing. I know why you brought me here, and we'll speak to it. But everything I said in that press conference yesterday was exactly what happened. So Chief Olabodejo did whatever he did. Some other leaders did whatever they did. For us, that wasn't even an issue. But we're waiting to see if the party at the national level, governed by the constitution of the party, would look into the provisions of that constitution and say, okay, for doing anti-party openly, this wasn't an allegation. Oh, this is the sanction. So we waited patiently for 2 years to see whether or not that would happen. Instead of that, the same person was appointed vice chairman, disciplinary committee from the national. Okay? Even the person had the audacity to come on national TV to be fighting that no, he cannot work under Ikimi because Ikimi is junior to him. So he actually wanted chairman of disciplinary committee. That's a joke. So when we speak to, you see, Lagosians will ask, what is going on? Right? with everything that played out. So you can't, but we have to wait for that long to see whether or not the party will do the needful.
Did you activate internal party mechanisms on this kind of matter?
Yes, we wrote this, the party at the national level. See, the party is owned by Wadata Plaza, right? That is where you have the NWC and NEC. Those are the owners of the party. All the component states, they are answerable to them. So we wrote the national complaint. Some went to court on this matter. So we waited to see what is going to happen. And the moment we realized that, oh, the same man was the person you picked as chairman disciplinary committee, you don't need a suit here to tell you what is coming. I don't know if you understand. So at that point, what is best for you is to do what? Is to reconsider your stand. See, Sheung, this was my very first time, you know, jumping into this trade, right? I took my time to learn this whole rope, and we built structure from ground zero to what it is today, right? Where I was coming from, there is what is called party supremacy. Irrespective of who you are, irrespective of what you are, the moment the party has said this is it, everybody must fall in line.
You were from the Bola Tinubu School of Politics.
Yes, I'm from APC.
And Bola Tinubu School of Politics.
That is APC.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever contested that. I was from APC. You know, my former guy accused me, said I didn't wait to go to their leadership school, blah, 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 something like that. But I understood that structure for us to be able to do what we did. You understand?
And you didn't find it in the PDP. Did you find that kind of structure?
No, no. Let me say this to you. If we hadn't left APC at that time, there would have been a platform for me to express my can-do ability alongside my our other followers. I don't know if you understand. But now we've been able to tell the whole world what we can do. And the stuff that we're made of. So that platform gave us that. And I'm grateful to majority of party loyalists of PDP who stood by us. We went around the entire state to do this together, right? I know them. They're very loyal. They want the party to win. Unfortunately, when you have a leadership problem, then there is a problem.
Have you been able to, you were shocked, you were unhappy with some of the actions of Chief Olabode George. Were you able to speak with him face to face about this matter? Did you take this up with him? He's the father of your party, he's the leader of your party in Lagos State at the national level. Were you able to engage him?
Let me tell you this. I think they had about 3 or 4 tendencies before I got into PDP in Lagos. We have the Ogukelu tendency, we have the Jidoati, we have Olabode George himself, we had, I think, the Dosumu and co, right? About 4 of them. So when we got into the party, I ensured that the entire tendencies, right? I went around the entire tendencies. Deliberately, because we know that this is the man that will score to everything at the end of the day. So we went straight into his house, where he had just 15% of what can turn you to candidates. So from that same house, he raised another aspirant to contest that 15% so that we don't go nowhere. But that wasn't the issue. See, I learned this politics from APC. I got the ticket, by the way, anyways. And that shows the difference between, you know, us. But that wasn't an issue. So we went into that election, came back to him, took some people, you know, see, you've heard the story of the leopard, right? It's just, it will continue to be like that. So for me, it wasn't an issue. The issue where I now had issue is the party at the national level to do the needful. Rather, this is what the party is doing.
So you felt betrayed by the party at the national level?
Not betrayed, disappointed.
Because betrayal was part of the composition of...
That was within
the party.
In Lagos.
Were there people who worked against your success aside what you alleged against Chief Olabode George within the APC, I mean, PDP in Lagos State? Let
me tell you what happened eve of election. The state party chairman of PDP in Lagos issued a release speaking to a forced alliance that never happened and said we have withdrawn from the race, eve of election.
And it was not a fake news.
Of course, it was a fake news. Because that never happened. To say we have withdrawn from the race. Oh,
I'm saying that, you know, in the eve of election, I see a whole lot. There are fake news that are being generated on behalf of people.
If there's a breaking news to say, oh, somebody is stepping down, or somebody is withdrawing from the race, of course, a platform like Channels TV will probably be the first to carry it, right? But these were all ground planned for us not to do what? Not to go anywhere. And it has always been like that. It's not about me. They did the same to Obanikoro, to Jimmy Agbaje twice, to Funshaw Williams. It's not just about Jandor. I said it. What they did wasn't just because it was Jandor. It has been their stock in trade.
For what purpose? Why would you say that? Because these are grave allegations that you're making against those who have built that party. To what end would that mean that you build a party and then you want to intentionally bring down the party? Because that's what you're describing.
So maybe you would ask, you know, and you've been asking, and I think you saw this yourself. This person stood before camera, before the entire news media, and said, don't vote for my party. A BOT chairman. He said that both for national and the states. So if you want to ask him, why would that even happen? What reason? You are a BOT, a live, according to him, live BOT member of a party. So, you see, when you don't just grow old to not have integrity or not have been disciplined or not, you know, it has a lot to do with your background and growing up. So, I mean, just like Yoruba people will say it.
So, did you think you were going to win that election?
Listen, nobody get into a race thinking that he wasn't going to win. What we pull in Lagos 2023, if anybody has asked you, don't forget, before general election, it was 2-horse race between me and Governor Sanwo-Olu. We had debate that Governor Sanwo-Olu had to, you know, do a press release to say, you know what, I'm not coming for that debate because of the candidate of PDP, under whatever guise, right? Okay, so nobody, we worked around, I mean, I don't need to say this. I mean, the Jandor brand is not just a brand that is restricted to Lagos. What we did went everywhere because for the very first time, we were able to express our can-do ability. To say, yeah, we can do it. We can.
But it does then land because you had the wave behind you and you were sailing quite popularly in Lagos, but there was a third leg in the race.
Absolutely.
And the Labour, your very brother, that could have picked the ticket of the PDP in your stead, and this valuable Rose Viver, who came second in the race, and those who said, oh, even Jandor could not even pick come second.
So
you came a distance.
You spoke about wave. 2023 election came with its own dynamics. And just like I said, it was 2-horse race until presidential election. So if you look at what happened with the presidential election, Peter Obi came first, Ashwaju came second, Atiku came third. I don't know if you understand. So with that, there is this belief, because the moment that happened, there is this belief that, oh, if we do this, oh, we can get this state off XYZ. So we were victims. That's what I said to each time I addressed my people, I said to them, I said, look, you did everything, but that wave came and swallowed the whole thing. Nobody saw that coming.
So if not for Peter Obi's influence at the presidential election.
I'm not speaking. See,
no, I'm asking.
This interview is
you're a politician.
Me.
Just remember, well, you're a politician, and I know with the benefit of hindsight, you probably would have analyzed and say, oh, yeah, I could have won the election, or worst case scenario, come second. But the presidential election came, the Peter Obi effect came. No one would ever thought that Bola Tinubu would have lost in his home state.
Absolutely.
Against Peter Obi from Anambra State. Okay. And Bola Tinubu's tendency had governed a rude Lagos for so long. And if that happened as a politician, you probably would have done the analysis. And my question to you is, if not for the Peter Obi factor, which came in the the presidential
you probably
election,
would have won the election.
At the governorship level?
Of course, you have answered it. You probably would have won the election.
We will have defeated Babajide.
Absolutely, you have answered it. You've answered the question.
But was it going to
election.
be easy for you to be able to defeat the APC, the house you left?
No, see.
And it's Sanwo-Olu coming for second term.
See, Sheung, just like I said, before February 25th general election, right, we were on the streets of Lagos every day, everywhere, and the ruling party with nowhere to be found, right? We had several debates. He didn't show up, and he did say the reason he wasn't able to show up. That look, it was because of this guy. I don't want to share stage with him, right? So, just like I said, but 2023 election came with this tsunami that nobody ever expected, and it was there for everybody to see. So, I'm not blaming, I just felt it wasn't God's time yet, and that's the fact. And it doesn't rob us of the fact that we did very well.
In terms of ideas, you think you have better ideas to run Lagos, right?
Sheung, since 2008, I've been running my personal business. I've been an employer of labor, right? You know, turning around resources, not only to stay afloat, but to keep on building the empire that I've got today. We're talking about running the economy. It's not just about, if you don't understand, if you haven't done it at your own level to turn around the resources, you don't even know how to govern. You don't even know how to do some things. When we talk about governance, this is a rock science. No, it's not rocket science.
So the way things are running in Lagos, you perhaps, if there's one thing that you think that you could have done better, what would that be?
Look, see, after the January 12th Supreme Court judgment, I said to my team, even the release that we did, we said, you know what, we're ceasing fire. I'm not going to sit here and be criticizing. I did that for 6 years. In fact, I played opposition within APC before we moved to PDP. And I said to my team, you know what, allow the governor to run his office. I'm not going to sit here and start criticizing. This is what, during the electionary campaign, we picked so many holes in whatever it is that he was doing at that time. But hey, election is gone. Let him run his office. Let's see whatever he's going to give us in the next 4 years. So, and I pulled back. If you notice, you won't see me on national TV speaking to whatever it is, not because I don't know what to say. But again, who goes around and to boast that is a member of PDP, by the way, with what is happening at the national level and at the state level? The optics are bad. So where some of us decided to, you know, bury, you know, to say, you know what, let us retreat a bit.
So you think the PDP is in a bad state right now?
You don't need a soothsayer to say it, to tell you. The optics are bad.
You don't want to belong to build it, because that's perhaps the biggest opposition party in Nigeria
after
today.
election, this is 2 years. This is March 2025. My election was March 2023. 2 years after that time.
So you gave up on the party?
Even the party has given up on itself.
But the party gave you a ticket.
I appreciate that.
And you give it a second chance. Is it possible?
See, when you speak about political party, it's people that congregate and form a party, right? It's not the other way around. If you still have this same toxic and what have you within that circle, you still get the same problem. I don't know if you understand. Just like I said yesterday, those that are holding the aces of the party today are those that worked against the party. So where do we start from? And we are going into another electioneering process. This is 2025. You start having congresses and the rest. 2026, there will be a primary election. So, and you still have the same set of people, you know, at the aims of affairs of that political party, and you expect to see something else. No, it won't happen.
Where are you headed now? What party are you?
I know that was why you brought me here.
One of the reasons.
And the truth of the matter is that I don't know myself.
Are you going back home?
We have 18 political parties in Nigeria. 18. So there are other 17 options. But we can't just say this is where we're going. We will consult and see what they are, even other ones are coming, there are coalitions coming, people coming together to form a coalition to say, okay, let's see if we can have something. So I actually don't know where I'm going, but we're on it. The first thing is, can we clear this so that we can see fronts? That is what we did yesterday.
So is APC an option for you?
APC is one of the 17th that is left.
Is it an option for you? Is it possible you go back home? APC, because that's your home, isn't it?
Listen, APC is one of the 17 that is left. Coalition is coming.
In Lagos?
SDP is there. The coalition is coming in Nigeria. So if you have a political party in Nigeria, it will trickle down to other states. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are other political parties that are there.
But is Labour Party an option for you?
Labour Party is also an option. It's part of the 17. It's part of the 17. See, wherever, let me tell you, before we went to PDP, right, in 2022, we had this conversation within our own circle. Where do we go to? Should we go to PDP? Should we go to APC? Or, I mean, should we go to Labour or wherever? We discussed it, and some people said, no, we can't go to PDP. Because, that man will not even allow us to get tickets. We can't go to PDP because, this is what they do. We can't go to, and by the time we got into PDP, they've had all their congresses done, structures in their hands. We had nothing. But that didn't stop us from winning the tickets. I don't know if you understand. So, wherever we find ourselves, irrespective of who is there and who is not there, we will still submit and subject ourselves to, the rule of the game. So, and we can get it just like we got it.
So if your plan now is to run for governor again in 2027?
We have chosen this path. We are not deviating. It's only God that can determine.
You have your eyes on becoming the governor of Lagos State.
Absolutely. We have chosen this path. We are not deviating. It's only God that can determine who and when. So this is the path that we have chosen.
Yeah. Are you possibly? Have you met President Bola Tinubu since you left APC, right?
No.
Or is one of your leaders in politically speaking?
He's the Nigerian leader today.
Well, he was your leader.
Of course, I was in APC. Yes, he was the leader when I was in APC, of course. Still remained the leader in APC as well.
The Fasholas of this world, you are leaders of course. Have you met with them? Have you consulted with them?
No, we're not in the same party, so I don't have to consult with them.
Okay, just before we go, it is clear how things are going, and I imagine what you're thinking about the Lagos Assembly politics. Let me ask you, what comes to your mind when you see all what played out over the last few weeks in the Lagos State Assembly?
What comes to my mind? You want me to be honest? Okay. I know there are 34 members.
Seats.
6 members. Who actually threw their weight behind the lady speaker. And we have few on the other side with Obasa. I'm not going to speak to whether it is A or B, but what I'm going to say, and the same thing I said to someone, I said, look, this 34 or 36 and the 40 and the speaker and the lady and everybody understands the house they belong to. Don't you understand? If you understand that this is the nature of a house we belong to, then you have to tread softly in choosing what camp to belong to. Because if you don't do that, what will happen to you at the end of the day is that you look foolish.
Did you look foolish in the end?
Well, I haven't said that. But, hey.
It does look like someone has had his way. No matter what the members decided.
What I said is, if you belong to a house, you should understand. I want to believe those in the House of Assembly should have, more experience to understand the nature of their home. Let me say this to you. I left PDP. You know why? Because I know with power given back to somebody that stopped us, or semblance of that, even at the national level, you know you are going nowhere. Right? And what then do you need to do? Leave. So you have to take your time to study, especially when you know where you are, where you belong to.
Lagos State is a delicate politics to play. And you say you've learned a lot of that. With the benefit of hindsight, did you regret anything?
No.
Is there something that you probably would have done that you did not do?
No. As a matter of fact, after that election, I addressed my guys. I said, you know what? You've done something no politician, dead or alive, has ever done in the history of Lagos politics. And I'm proud of all of you. And that's the fact.
If you were to do it again?
We will do it again. Because you know what? We came out courageous. We came out, you know, to say, look, we are qualified, we can do it, not minding whose source is God.
You also said at the time that you were tired of Babasokwe politics, you were tired of godfatherism. Those are the things. Are you still tired, or you are going back to what you said you were tired of?
So, we left APC because we know that the selection process, as at 2019, where we have an incumbent governor, is not likely to favor us. I don't know if you understand. We came to PDP, where there is also a Babasokwe. Right. And we were there. But we saw without Babasokwe, because it was a free-for-all, we were able to do what? To get the tickets. I don't know if you understand. So what I'm saying to you is that we have chosen this path. We will consult widely. Wherever we find ourselves tomorrow, just like I said, even if it is coalition or Labour or SDP or what have you, there are still rules of the game. And we will subject ourselves to these rules. If we get it, we'll be on the ballot. If we get it again, we'll be on the ballot.
So you are very certain about the structure you have built, the Jandor structure?
The Lagos for Lagos structure.
It's still there?
Absolutely. You saw the press coverage. This one was just for us to bring few people from what the local government because of the space of our campaign office. And even with that space, we had an overflow outside. The structures are there. Organically. They are organic and they're there.
All right.
And you know that.
Jandor, Olajide, I wish you the very best. Either you return back home or you go to your obedient brothers and sisters or the coalition or SDP. I wish you the very best in the coming days. Thank you so much. Olajide Adidiran was the PDP governorship candidate in Lagos in 2023. Thanks so much indeed. We take a break, everyone, but when we return, our attention will be on the economy. This time around is the price war. How much are you buying petrol, wherever you may be in the country? And I'd like to see what your thoughts are about the prices of petrol. NNPC slashed the price to 850 naira per liter. Is that good news for you, everyone? Are you glad that the competition is getting you to buy the commodity far less than what you could have bought it anyways? Let me know. Go to our Twitter handle, on YouTube, and wherever you may be, tweet at us and let us know how much you are buying petrol in your area, and put your name, your area, and your state, and the price. So let us know. Our conversation is next on the price war between the NNPC and Dangote refinery. We'll be back, everyone. Join us again. Thanks so much, everyone, for staying with us. There has been an interesting dimension into the pricing of premium motor spirit petrol, as it's popularly called, one of the major commodity that drives transportation in the country. And of course, within the oil and gas sector in Nigeria, there is being a stiff competition in terms of price control and price determination. Dangote, as we know, has over the last few weeks and months changed prices across the different commodities that have been pushed into the market, giving the buyers opportunities and options to buy differently from the different parts of the country. And that's why we are asking you to let us know, since NNPCL has announced a different pricing for the commodity, lower than the price that has been in the market, 850 naira per liter. That is what the NNPC is selling as of today. But what does this mean? This price war and competition, what does it mean for you and I as an average citizen? I'm being joined tonight by Chief Economist at the SPM Professionals, Dr. Paul Alaje, is live for us in the city of Ibadan. Dr. Paul Alaje, thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
When we imagine that it's a private sector competitor in the oil and gas sector that will use the price competition techniques to fight the state-owned investment just to be able to get the confidence of the buyers. But now when you see state-owned company or investment or interest coming into the fray in a price war, we know what price war is in economics. It means one thing. There are those who might, and in the end, suffer for it, or who have some benefits, and there are those who will have some losses. But in this one, first and foremost, can you give us an idea how we summarize for us how we got here, Dr. Alaje?
Yeah, thank you once again for having me. You recall that when President Tinubu got to office, he carefully considered the implication of continuous payment of subsidy, and therefore, on that very day at the Eagle Square, he announced subsidy is gone. That to open a new narrative for the entire Nigerians in terms of cost of transportation, among other things. The president did not stop it there, and that also served as encouragement to those who want to make profit, especially those within the oil and gas sector. While the president made that announcement, before he left Eagle Square, prices started going up from what it was to about 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 to over 1,200 at the time. NNPC became the star boy, announcing new rates across filling stations. Today, Dangote Refinery and Aliko Dangote himself have started some concerns, not even today, before today, as to how he felt NNPCL operations and decisions are affecting him. The good news, one, is that Dangote Refinery come mainstream, of course, at a very high cost. But Dangote Refinery have seen that if you must compete with the state, you must have long spoon. So it's not only when you want to fight with the devil that you have a long spoon. Even fighting with the state, you have to work on eggshell. And the first thing he did was to first announce reduction. And that reduction in prices, because of course, Nigerians have complained of untold hardship. And when you look at what transport costs take from our daily expenses, then you know that it's quite significant. Both the rich, the poor, the middle class, if they still exist, everybody have their own fair share of these concerns. But when Dangote announced that, around the end of the year, a lot of people felt, oh, maybe things would improve. The price will go back up. NNPC followed suit. Very recently, Dangote announced another one at a bound between 800, around 800, less than 850. And you have seen NNPCL responding to it. Yes, you may want to call it a price war, but you see, in economics, when a duopoly fights, is the best for the populace, because they will themselves drive themselves to neutral profit. And people may ask, what is neutral profit? Neutral profit is that point where all factors of production have been catered for, which includes land, rent on land, labor, wages and salary of labor, profit, the real profit, entrepreneurs, and finally, interest on capital. What has therefore been eroded is the abnormal profit. Ask me, have we gotten to that point where abnormal profit has been eroded? I will tell you the answer is no. As of today, our computation reveal that PMS should be around 795 to 830. 795 to 830. When Dangote made that announcement, I knew that the refinery, that business and entity, have something in mind. And I was not surprised when NNPCL quickly made the announcement that, hey, we are also reducing our price, because for the first time in a long time, many abandoned NNPC-related filling station, and they started going to those who they feel is affiliated to Dangote. This is economics at play. The question is, are we really ready for it? I know a number of persons have called, some persons have even sent email to explain this to them, that could it be similar to what we saw in sugar, when sugar war happened? Could it be what we saw happen in cement, when cement happened? The difference here is that while Dangote claims the 100% of his PMS are produced locally, NNPCL, we see have traces that perhaps they cannot, the refinery as of today, could not refine locally. My advice is directly to NNPC. If you must compete, you must also produce locally. Why? You will give jobs the way Dangote is giving it to Nigeria, which is my primary concern. Two, price will further go down. We will suddenly realize that without subsidy, we can take price even lower than 700 your businesses to FX challenges. Even the gains that government is fighting for is being exposed to the same. So if you truly want to fight, let's have a level playing ground.
All right.
Make your refinery work. Let PMS come out of refinery. But this does not mean I'm criticizing NNPC that refinery is not working at all. I know there are some production that is going on in those refineries, and I must commend them for those. But PMS must also be produced from the refinery. Why? We need to stop all elements of importation. At that time, we will see true competition, and please, the federal government should license more people. You think Nigerians don't want competition to happen? It's the best for us. It is when this cartel agrees, then we are all in trouble. Because if they fix the 1,000, Mr. Shehu, where are we exactly going to run to?
So, in some way, Dr. Alaje, because I like to understand the bottom line. This, for me, is important for my viewers, who are the average Nigerians tonight who are watching. I will be happy if they are buying it less. It is the joy. Well, there's a popular music now, joy is coming. It is the joy of the average buyer and the average person that they are buying for less. But the reality is this: is this sustainable, or is it just for the competition's sake?
Now, it's sustainable to reduce prices to 7 as of today. Based on today's exchange rate reality, if I have time, I will speak to exchange rate and what central bank has been doing. I know a lot of people might not be happy that central bank is intervening in the market. I remember I had a conversation with you on this channel, and I mentioned to you that if the central bank don't intervene, we are all gone. No African nation have the capacity to fight head-on to head-on international markets. Even when you put the entire Africa together, what is our market size? It will be a joke for us not to intervene at all. One of the things I've recommended central banks should do is from time to time, maybe not too consistent, come to the market, intervene in the market so that we can have a sustained exchange rate. In economics, what matters the most is not to have a too low, a too high, but a sustained exchange rate at a fair corridor. I still maintain that what exchange rate should be today should be around 1,000 to 1,100. We are still saying 1,500. It's a gain from where we are coming from. Can we do more? Yes. Now that we know that central bank have said, central bank is intervening, especially in the parallel market. People's concern whether exchange rate will go to 191 something, it's gradually fizzling out, because central bank have decided to take a new turn by saying this market cannot sustain itself. When it needs us, we need to show up, and that is the demonstration we are seeing in the market. That's not one. So I say kudos to them. You know, when they don't do it right, I will always criticize, and when I think they do right, when people criticize them, it's important to also show up and defend the Central Bank of Nigeria that they are taking the right step. Why? Because of the kind of economy. Now, do I think this is sustainable? To a large extent, it is sustainable. The challenge you may have is if there is global crisis that makes the price of crude to go up, which include Brent crude, Bonny Light, among other products that Nigeria buy or Nigeria sell to the market, then you're going to see a difference. But for now, we're seeing relative stability. Donald Trump seems to be after relative peace around the world, which of course will have implication on prices, because if there's no scarcity, that in itself will further go down. And once it goes down, you can also check what are the other factors affecting prices locally. So to me, we stand in a good position. NNPC should get properly to the ring. You cannot be boxing your opponent when you are not in the ring from outside. In fact, the referee will be suspected to be doing, quote and unquote, what they say in local parlance, cheating. So get to the ring, make your refineries work, license more people to get to the market so that we have more choices. At the end of the day, economics is a study of choices. So let's have more choices. You cannot bottle us to importation or just Dangote. We need more. Then you can see that this price can go below 700 naira per liter. And that would be a very good point to start with.
There are those who are unhappy with what Dangote has done in terms of forcing the price down, because on the other hand, there are those who believe that Dangote is trying to monopolize the market. And if not for Dangote that is pushing the price down, I'm not sure NNPC may have considered slashing the price. Is that right? But the big question here is that there has been also the conversation around quality. Those who are gone to town on social media and the NNPC has come to say, oh, it is a lie that whatever comes out of the NNPCL or its refineries and into the market is substandard, but that is not true. But those competitive narratives are being thrown into the market. For me, right, Dr. Alaji, and anyone who is watching tonight, will look at it, what is the need for the average Nigerian person? No matter what the benefit of the private sector person or government, in the end, is that what is in it for them? At the end of the day, I asked the question of sustainability, but again, is in the long run, can we have it? And you've muted the idea of a possibility of a 700 naira per liter of petrol. What is the most appropriate based on the standard, global price standard, because it's an international commodity? What price do you think could be adequate for a local consumption or sale of petrol?
Well, when you look at countries that are producing the way we are producing, and they have some refining going on, even those that don't have as much in terms of capacity of Dangote and the support NNPC is providing, our average price in those countries today, because they get from crude and they refine directly, and few percentage is what gets into their country. It's around 650 to about 750 Nigerian naira. So it's safe to say around 700 naira. But Nigeria has not gotten there 100%. That is why I feel that if you have more competition, because of interest of capitalists to make profit, eventually they will continue to reduce price if they don't agree. The only danger for Nigeria, in fact, Nigeria should be happy that there is no agreement. Once there is agreement, they can fix price. And the truth is that you and I, we have no option. Because there is no agreement, which is the beautiful thing in economics. Everybody wants to take out the next person. NNPC should not cry foul. It is business. It is no longer because you are guaranteed salary coming from government. If you want to come to private sector, then you have to wear our gown. What is the crown private sector? It is pricing mechanism. How does it play? What role do you need to play? So you cannot wear one cap that bears government and the other cap that bears private sector. You need to pay for consequences of action, especially as it affects pricing. So NNPC can compete, I strongly believe, but my concern is that when this competition, because of the influence NNPC has to import, it might eventually have implication on USD. Once you have implication on USD, it's not just the price that's expensive. Your ability to get the access to these FX will affect the central bank, and you know central bank is for everybody. Come on, it's going to affect all of us. That is why, yes, NNPC, keep the battle on, but please make your refinery work. Make them work. That is when everybody will be happy.
Dr. Alaji, now the interesting thing is that
we can produce Jet H1, we can produce PMS, and so on and so forth.
So, but the price Dangote is selling is still lower than what NNPCL has. NNPCL released to 860. Dangote reduced to 825 naira per liter. But you saw the announcement Dangote made, 16 billion refunding loss to marketers based on about 65 naira per liter or so. And these are consequences of some of the undulating and the instability in the prices, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But so what do we do? See, at the beginning, when you have two major giants, Dangote Refinery and NNPC, all of these are important. And if you ask me, do I want any of them to stop in the market or disappear from the market? The answer is no. The danger is that if NNPC fizzle out, then you are faced with a pure capitalist. You don't want to know the implication. If it is Dangote that stops and it's NNPC, you are back in Egypt. So head or tail, the two must function. And that is why I'm hinting that what government needs to do for those that have license, no matter how small, how big, they need to come to the market. The way NNPCL and Dangote Refinery is going, we need to have more players in the market, because with the suspicion we're having around the world, if Donald Trump have its way and some kind of challenges going on in the Middle East and what is going on in Eastern Europe is able to provide relative peace and the world is able to reconcile with itself again, then you might see some level of reduction in the price of crude. If that happens, that will certainly affect not the price, not just the price. You're going to see reduction, even though trade war, among other things, would increase. So that may not have direct correlation with what you see. But eventually, I tell you that it's a good thing that we are seeing this, and no economist that is in practice will entirely be surprised at what you are seeing. What we are saying is that we in fact want more of this competition to go on, because if you say we are fully deregulated, these are consequences of the same. I have choices at a fair price. When I can look online and see what prices in some Middle East country, and I put on my calculator, do the conversion, and I see that yes, I should be buying at about 750, 650, 750, maximum 800 naira per liter, worst case scenario. So Dangote is gradually converging. So don't be surprised if the turnover is increasing. Then NNPCL, that is important, one is faced with exchange rate risk. For those that they are refining in Nigeria, is good news for them. But I think to a large extent, we want more. But if any of them fizzle out, be ready to buy at over 1,000 again. And I think this is where it should interest all Nigeria. Why they must be back, because everybody wants to make abnormal profits instead of neutral profits.
I'm sure that this is not going to be a short-length movie. It's going to be a very lengthy one. Let the price war continue as long as it's going to be to the benefit of the average person. The only thing is that I don't want blood to be spilled in this war. Blood spilling is that none of these refineries should shut down. Let them keep producing for the benefit of the Nigerian people. But at the end of the day, one thing that is fundamental, let Nigeria thrive. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul Alaji, Chief Economist at the SPM Professionals. Thanks so much indeed. Always a pleasure having you explain these issues for us. Well, that's how we close the program tonight. But let us tell you, in the spirit of Ramadan, we understand that in Imo State, the governor there has approved the appointment of the board of the Imo State Muslim Hajj Board. And Major Shehu Arande has been appointed the chairman of the Imo State Muslim Hajj Board, and Ibrahim Milika as the secretary of the board. The governor also made this known in a statement signed today, and that the board is made up of 11 members. The governor also approved the appointment of His Royal Highness Elijah Awaz Suleiman as the 2025 Amir Hajj. All members of this board and the Amir Hajj will be sworn in on Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. Thank you so much. That's our show for tonight, everyone. I hope you had a blast on the program tonight. I'm sure Akimale. I'll see you next time. God bless Nigeria.